Am I coming through? Awesome. I can. Let me mute this. I thought it was already muted. I can see the game, but if I mute Discord, I don't hear the music. Oh, okay. Well, that's done. I can hear Discord. Yes. Yes. All right. All right. Sounds good.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our opera stream, Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. As you can see, we are set up and ready for the opera. I hope you're wearing your best. Maybe it's pajamas. But tonight's a special night, so I had to put on my opera clothes. I had to slick my hair back a little bit. And we are going for it tonight. Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster has been a journey so far, but I've been saving this night for us because this is one of the coolest things that I've ever seen in a video game. Final Fantasy VI has got an iconic opera scene. So in the 16-bit game, there are so many cool things, and one of the cool things is that we have a full-blown orchestrated opera. And so tonight we're going to get into that. I am also going to be joined by a good friend of mine, a guy who is very skilled in music. His name is Ben, and we've been best friends since 8th grade. And he
go to bed.
He has done so much as far as music education. He teaches choir and is quite accomplished in choral and in just music stuff in general. In fact, one time we made a kids musical together. So anyway, we will, I'm going to introduce him right now. Let's see if I can get our videos working together. All right, here's me. And now let me pull him up. There he is. There's Ben. Hey, Ben.
Hi.
Oh, Senorita, thank you again for the resub. Sorry, Ben.
I'm so sorry. My 4-year-old son has wandered out of bed and come downstairs to join me. Sam, go to bed.
Oh, good.
All right, then be quiet.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, tonight we're going to be playing, like I said, a little bit of the Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. We've got a little bit of a lead-in into the actual game, into the opera part. So we're going to, as we are preparing to go to that, Ben and I are going to talk a little bit about the game and the music and all this kind of stuff. You were just jamming out to the console's Final Fantasy stuff. Hey Azula, hey Fitz, how are y'all tonight? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so if you're just tuning in for the Final Fantasy VI stream, this here, the character in the middle is Celes. I always called her Seals growing up, but Celes, did you always call her Celes, Ben?
Yes, it took me a little bit to come to pronunciations for some of these characters.
Fair.
I should also note, well, I've got it over here somewhere. I got my copy of Final Fantasy VI here.
Oh my gosh, the original! Look at that.
Yeah, this is the Japanese Super Famicom.
Oh my gosh,
Final
we got a
Fantasy
super
VI.
fan.
So now I got into it later. I was an adult, and everything. I didn't play this as a kid.
Okay.
But the reason I show you the Japanese one is because I have started this game in English several times, but I have never actually finished it in English. Instead, I played the Japanese version with a fan translation. I'm giving my son some yogurt. Sam, there's some yogurt. Go. But
Hey, Sam.
it's worth noting that some of these characters have different names in the Japanese. Their default names are different. Celis is the same. However, Terra, for instance, is Tina. And that actually comes into some theme naming here. And it comes down to this opera, which, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's the story of Maria and Draco. And they, so there was there's an Italian coloratura soprano in the late 19th, early 20th century named Maria Celestina. So if you take Celis and Tina, which was the Japanese name for Terra, Ted Woolsey changed that, I think, to make it a little more to make it a little bit more exotic, I guess.
I had no idea about that. How you got these names? That's amazing.
Yeah. So Maria Celestina was the Italian opera diva, and in this you got Celis and Tina. So Celestina is spelled Celestina.
Okay.
And the character of Maria is the person that the diva that Celis is going to impersonate, or she's going to portray.
That makes perfect sense. And it completely debunks my pronunciation as a child of Celes being Seals. And I was always like, oh, Seals. Seals is such a great character, but it's Celis or even Celis. That's cool. Okay. So everybody, this is Celis, the blonde-haired soldier-looking girl. And then this is Locke. He is a treasure hunter. Don't call him a thief. And this is Edgar. He is the king of Figaro, and this is his brother Sabin, who we also made in WWE 2K22. If you've been watching that stream, anyway, he's like a power.
And he is also named after an opera composer.
Is he really?
Yeah, a Romanian opera composer, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember his first name. Hey Sam, I just gave you yogurt. Come on.
I'm still.
All right, let's keep going. So Celis and Locke and Edgar and Sabin all are, they're looking for a way to get into the Empire. And in order to do that, they are going to try to get to an airship. And so they've heard that they could find somebody with an airship in this town. That's why we're here. So all that to say, here we go. Got the frantic guy here, Impresario. Maria? Me? Celis, not Seals. Sorry, I mistook you for someone else. Still, you could pass for Maria in a heartbeat. Oh dear, we're really in trouble this time. Celis looks like Maria? Ah! I love the pixel art and the animations here. It's so expressive.
You compare that to what was possible in Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah.
Which was, they could, raise a fist in triumph, or they could hang their head
down.
That's basically what they could do.
We're sad, we're happy. That's about it. Okay, so this guy, you're the spitting image of Maria. Huh, haven't heard of her, you say? Well, she's a famous opera singer. All right. And a letter. That man must have dropped this. That man is the director of the troupe that performs the Opera House. Everyone just calls him Impresario. He's been in a tizzy ever since that letter arrived. Dearest Maria, I've decided to take you as my wife, so I'll be coming to kidnap you. The Wandering Gambler. That's a great letter.
That's a proposal is what that is.
That's beautiful. Who's this wandering what's-his-face? Were you born on a farm, son? God, this is a good thing.
Well, the classism is just so prevalent here.
Oh man, look at his sprite. I haven't seen the sprite before. A gambling vagabond who finds freedom from society's narrow views of morality aboard his airship, the Blackjack. And Setzer. We're gonna keep that name. That's a good name. I used to rename all the characters when I was a kid, but I'm such a purist now. That would be Setzer, owner of the world's only airship. If we had that airship, we'd have our way into the Empire. Let's set up a meeting with this Setzer. She was spitting image of Maria. Well,
Isn't that okay? All right, then go sit down.
so now down to the Opera House. So Ben, when did you get into Final Fantasy?
It was. I'm trying to think of the exact year. I'm wanting to say it was around 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
I remember the most recent Final Fantasy at the time was Final Fantasy 14, and I don't mean A Realm Reborn.
Yeah, the first iteration, not awesome.
Yeah, you and I actually went to a concert, a Distant Worlds concert, nearby, and so that was really what got me very interested, was the music. I also had seen the first preview. Do not put that in your mouth. I'm so sorry. I was not expecting this.
No,
I also had seen the first preview of Final Fantasy.
Battle with a toddler.
Yeah, for real. And I remember thinking how cool that looks. I looked up some stuff on Final Fantasy 15, which was going to be coming out soon, and was really taken in by all that. So I went through and started playing some of the older games. Yeah, when I was a kid, I had played Final Fantasy at a friend's house, and it didn't hook me because you're looking at goblin sprites on a black screen. I was thinking, these guys are not even in the same window pane or whatever we're going to call it. How are they connecting with each other?
Yeah.
They just swung their arm and it said it was a hit. That's boring, and it didn't take me in. And I did not have a Super NES growing up. I was
you were a Sega kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Now I will stand Phantasy Star 4 all day long, but I wasn't really that into JRPGs for the most part. It wasn't really until I was an adult. It really just watching you play and hearing you talk about it was very eye-opening, and
I remember trying to get you
evocative,
somewhat interested in Final Fantasy, and then it wasn't until we went to the concert, the symphony, I think, that it was like, okay, we've got a common ground here, which is good.
Yeah, the music really did it for me. I remember the opening music from Final Fantasy VII really blowing me away, as well as just some of the themes that were prevalent. And I thought, this is really something special. And it's interesting how this music all comes to be, because RPGs have this music, because back in the day, in the NES days, when you're thinking of your Final Fantasy 1s and Dragon Warrior 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm not opening another. You don't have a lot of action on the screen,
right?
So there's not a lot going on in the sound channels. You think back to Donkey Kong, every step Jumpman makes is a boop, 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 boop. When Pac-Man moves, it's wonka 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 wonka.
Right.
But there's not a lot of that active noise going on. So it freed up a lot of these programmers who happen to be musicians, Sam Lee, to really focus on tracks. So you look at what Nobu Uematsu was able to do with the original Final Fantasy. The NES sound, or the Famicom sound chip, couldn't do that much, but what he could do was really arpeggiate to create a sense of harmony, and that's how you end up with the prelude, the crystal theme. Things like that, and the way he worked into multiple sound channels. And as you get into Final Fantasy IV, the next one we saw in the US, the obviously you saw it, I didn't see it till much later.
Yeah.
Compare, the Red Wings theme in the opening Final Fantasy prelude.
Yeah.
It's night and day because they have all these different sound channels. And I think by the time you get to Final Fantasy VI here, he's really learned to work with the SNES's specific sound chip, or not sound chip, but sound technology that was developed by Sony.
Yeah.
And it uses samples. So this opera scene is possible because they could sample instruments.
Yeah,
and it
that to me was one of the most interesting things, because like I was not into musicals or operas or anything like that.
Mhm.
So I was in 5th grade, and this opera scene comes up, the one that we're about to get to, like we're already at the Opera House here. I was blown away, and it honestly gave me a respect for music outside of video games, because I truly, I mean, as a dumb kid, I was like, this is pretty, bleeps and buzzes and all that kind of stuff, but I'd never quite seen anything as captivating as what we are about to see. Also, I want to give you complete props because you were able to talk some theory and some interest stuff while you have a toddler running around you calling out to you. That is some amazing multitasking.
Man, let me tell you, there was a while a couple of years ago during the first COVID shutdown where I was having to teach remotely, record videos at home with 3 small children running around. If you don't mind, I hate to do this. Can I excuse myself for just a minute to try to take back to bed? I'll be back in just a minute.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe we should mute him so that he can talk to his kid in peace. Amazing. Everybody, so we're gonna move on ahead here. They are hilarious. Impresaria, it's you again. We read that letter, so Setzer is coming to snatch Maria away. He'll probably appear right at the climax of the first act. He loves to make an entrance. Perfect. When he shows up, we'll jump out and nab him. Dear me, no, you'll ruin the performance. I'll lose my job. But if you don't do anything, do you see my conundrum? I want the performance to be a success, but I don't want Maria to be abducted. I love that. Just sad face. I say let him take her. Locke. What a pragmatist. We'll use a decoy. Once he's got her, we'll follow him right back to his airship, and if all goes well, we should be able to commandeer it. Are you mad? If anything should happen to Maria... That's why we use the decoy. We can hide Maria someplace safe. Come again? You said yourself that Celes looks like Maria. Now, just a minute. She can be our Maria. We'll let Setzer kidnap her and lead us to his airship. Brilliant! Thank you, Senorita. I had to do something spicy for tonight, right? I've hyped it up enough. Hold on here. I'm a former general, not some opera floozy. Mi, do, re, mi, fa. Yes, I'm doing voice acting right. Mari. That's why I need Ben here. He can hit these notes. That's the spirit. Wahaha, I got my own little surprise planned for y'all, just like Setzer. It'll be tons of fun. We know that guy, Final Fantasy 15 fans. Hey, thanks for following, Melpnose. Thank you so much for the follow. How you doing tonight? Great to see you. This is Ultros. He's in not just 6, but also 15. He's the big, weird purple octopus that attacks Luna in Kingsglaive. I love the letter writing in this game. They just throw letters out here to further the story. Better get to work. We gotta make a star out of you, Celes. Guy, isn't anyone gonna read it? That's great to hear. Oh, wait. Oh, listen to this music. Here, let me turn it up for y'all a little bit. The war between the East and the West was growing more violent by the day. Draco, a soldier from the West, thinks of his love, Maria, back at home. Ah, thanks, Melpnos. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is incredible. Oh, get back in here, Ben.
I'm here.
Good. We just started.
Oh, Maria.
Oh my God.
Oh, Maria, my beloved, do you hear my words whispered in your ear, as if I were by your
That background looks like the background you fight final boss against.
Yes, it does. Oh my gosh, that was so cool. So folks, obviously in 1990, what, 5, 6, when the original came out, this was not voiced. And so they've added actual lyrics, like vocals, to this. And also, if you notice, there's a graphical change where it has this, what do they call it, HD 2D perspective, kind of like Octopath Traveler, where it's more 3D and you've got a little bit of a perspective shift there. Absolutely amazing. Really cool. Ben, any thoughts on that first part?
Yeah, that was really neat. I like I like the new instrumentation. I like the vocals. I'm noticing a slight change in tone quality as we have shifted from the stage to the balcony. Now,
Yeah.
that's really cool. Really good sound work. It makes. Has there been any? I haven't watched the rest of these streams. I'm sorry,
Sure.
super busy time. But have they done anything else with the like camera angles and the HD?
They have
2D stuff
not.
in this?
That has not been in any of this so far.
Yeah. Because I watched some of the Final Fantasy V one, and I actually played through Final
Yeah.
Fantasy V, but there was none of that there.
No, that's a first for the Pixel remasters. Let's talk to these guys real quick and see what's going on. I'm gonna go check on things in the dressing room. Oh, I hope.
And
this
I'm gonna
will-
go check on my son, who seems to have come out of it. I'll be right back.
Awesome. See you in a minute. Go on, give her some encouragement. Huh? Why is everyone singing? God, you gotta love Sabin. Such a Chad. All right. Did anyone ever read that letter? I wonder. Okay, here we go. Oh, Celis. Have you always been that pretty? Wow, that's a great line, Locke. Wow. Locke, why did you stand up for me when you did? Because I'm tired of standing by and doing nothing while I lose the girls I like. Am I just a replacement for her? Lot lost his first love, Rachel, and so Celis is picking up on that. That ribbon looks nice on you. I have to go on stage soon. The next scene's an important one. Maria starts to worry that something's happened to Draco and pours her feelings into song. Shouldn't you check the score one last time? Yes, I should. Oh, my hero, my beloved, shall we still be made to part? Oh gosh, they've changed the lyrics a little bit. Crap. Though promises of perennial love, yet sing here in my heart. I'm the darkness, you're the starlight, shining brightly from afar. Through hours of despair, I offer this prayer to you, my evening star. Must my final vows exchanged be with him and not with you? Were you only here to quiet my fear? Oh, speak, guide me anew. This is where you pick up the flowers, climb the stairs, and toss the bouquet from the highest balcony. Be sure to finish by the end of the interlude. There isn't much time before the start of scene 2. Impresario. Holy crap. Okay. I'm a little stressed about the memorization of these lines. Okay, oh my hero, my beloved. Okay. I think we got it. How we feel? How we feel? Let's go. Oh my gosh, look at the castle. I'll shut up. The Western armies were defeated and Maria's castle fell into the hands of the East. Forced to wed the Eastern Prince Ross, Maria still thinks of Draco as she gazes at the stars each night. Oh my God.
Oh, my hero, my beloved,
Celis.
shall we still
Maybe she needs to train a little harder.
She's an amateur.
Yeah.
promises of perennial love, yet sing here in my heart. I'm the darkness, you're the starlight, shining brightly from afar.
Oh my gosh, I love the set piece here.
Mhm.
Of despair, I offer this prayer to you, my evening star. Must my final vows exchanged be with him and not with you? Were you only here to quiet my fear? Oh, speak, guide me anew.
Oh, look at this.
That's some pretty good special effects for live theater.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Also, this is a tremendous set.
It really is.
My beloved, for your tenderness and grace, I see in your eyes, so gentle and wise, all doubts and fears erased. Though the hours take no notice of what fate might have in store, our love, come what may, will marriage
a star.
Ooh.
Nice. This is a beautiful set. You're right. Prince Ross is looking for his dance partner. Please leave the past behind. Our kingdom is part of the East now.
They geographically moved the kingdom. It's like Figaro Castle.
Oh,
Maybe
that
they
was-
need.
That was lovely. And gonna find a dance partner up there.
Our kingdom is part of the East now. Maybe they need better names for their kingdoms.
Oh, 100%.
Now, I've missed it. Has Sabin complained about
Why is
the
everyone singing?
yet?
Yeah, yes.
I hate I missed that.
You were wonderful, Celis. Aw. Alright, while Locke is gazing into there, Ben, what are some of your initial thoughts, impressions?
So again, it's so neat to hear the singing.
Yeah.
It's worth noting that this was originally written in Japanese, and I do not speak Japanese, but what I know of it is that in most Japanese dialogue, each syllabification is different. Your syllables are written very evenly, so you get this da 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 da, and it's it's really neat, even sound. Now, I think there's more syllabic stress that fits this English translation than probably was originally planned. If you compare something like Final Fantasy IX's thing, da 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 da.
Your ability to do
every-
that with this tune diddling in the back is also impressive.
My ability to ignore things is really one of my greatest strengths.
Oh man.
But
Esper, you've caught on to the tail end of it, buddy. However, we'll send you the link to the VOD. That way you'll be able to see all of it. Okay, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot more natural. There's a lot more natural syllabic stress in this, especially even than there was in the original. I wish I were more knowledgeable about this this process. If I recall, Uematsu went back and edited some of this a few years back for live concerts. So
Yeah, he
I'm
did.
wondering-
In fact, it might be worth our while to see that maybe afterwards. I may pull up the YouTube
Yeah.
of that, and that'd be a good way to kind of finish out tonight after a couple more things. So,
Yeah. But this is really neat. So there are a few places where it vamps, because that's a really neat thing about video game music.
yeah.
Is that not only do you have to work around limitations of the hardware, you have to work around limitations of your players, because you never know how long it's going to take a player to get through a scene. So they have to have these sections in here that sort of vamp. The little waltz that we have now is one of them. Previously, there's a da 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 da, and that will go on and on and on until you reach a certain segment. But these people will dance for hours if we do nothing.
Yeah, that's true, and they kind of are.
Yeah.
Fitz says the melody uses the raised 4 on the second part of the phrase to totally change to the key of F sharp. Is that minor? Sorry, major. What's F sharp M, lowercase m? Is that minor?
Lowercase m would be minor.
Okay, yeah.
And I can't see the chat.
Yeah,
by the
sorry,
way,
that's
so-
why I'm reading it. Would have left the G natural, but maybe I'm not hearing it fully justified
No.
on my phone speakers.
Are we talking about in the aria
The
portion?
He said the melody. I'm assuming in Celis's.
So it's interesting. I've got a score of this for arranged by piano by Uematsu.
Okay.
That the first time it appears, The first time it appears, you have a G sharp, which is the raised fourth he's talking about. Every time after that, so the first time you get this, let's see.
You guys got to play for us. Hang on. Hang on 1 second, Ben. Let me turn down our master volume here so we can hear you.
Sorry, so the first time we've got this. With the G natural there, then G sharp.
Okay.
Then G natural again, then G sharp. And what that does is it creates a secondary dominant that leads back to, you get the E major chord that leads back to the A for the next part. And then it sort of stays back there. But he does play around a lot with that raised fourth to create the secondary dominance in the aria portion. So definitely something that happens. And he does similar things throughout, creating a what we call a 5-of-3 chord, where he'll use an E sharp to get to that F sharp minor.
Okay.
Which is interesting because it's written in the key of D major or B minor. So it's a big it's a really neat tonal shift that he does there.
So one of the things that we first said when we started hearing Celes sing, you kind of winced a moment. Yeah. The first singer wasn't bad, right?
Very good.
He was fine. But when Celes comes out, it's definitely, not as full. A little, I don't know. I remember our old choir teacher saying, you sound breathy. You're full of air.
Yeah. A very bright sound.
Bright, okay.
A lot of placement in here, and a little bit of chestiness with the soft palate dropped in the back of the mouth that creates a sound known as denasality.
Yeah.
She, now that being said, is much more in style with Japanese style pop singers, or with pop singers. I don't know the country of origin for these singers, but it is very in style with that.
Yeah, you gotta think that, with all of, because Uematsu redid all of the music for these Pixel remasters. He knows what he's doing here.
Yeah.
And I think that that's probably pretty intentional. As far as, because Celes is not a musician, she's not a singer by any means, and so that is probably pretty planned in this, even though it is a little jarring, I think. Fitz goes on to say, E as the secondary dom is great. The G sharp over the F sharp minor feels out of place, and then said she sounded like a Broadway style. Any thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. She definitely has a different style. I thought the same thing about the story. She is not an opera diva, even if she happens to be the spitting image of one.
Yeah. You can look the part, but
she brings some of that Broadway style, some of that, and Broadway is a broad term as well, right? Musical theater can be anything from it. If you've got, the role of Maria in The Sound of Music versus something in the Book of Mormon or Hamilton or something, it runs the gamut, down to jukebox musicals where you're aping specific bands or styles. But I definitely think she's got some of that musical theater touch to her, as well as a little bit of poppiness, and you can hear some post-production in there as well. I'm sure this was probably something that the design team really went over a whole lot, trying to figure out the best course of action, because they probably ticked a whole lot of people off by not having like
the warbling.
Yeah,
yeah, because that was the vocal effect. It was almost a warbly MIDI sort of sound back in
Yeah.
the Super Nintendo days. So yeah, they probably did, but
Yeah.
I mean, I love that they took a risk with this kind of sacred game. Fitz goes on to say, people inexplicably looking just like other people is also very opera Shakespeare style of happenstance. Fair.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I think back to one of my favorite operas is one that I've actually been in, Così fan tutte, in which that's a Mozart opera from 1791, and basically two men disguise themselves as strangers by putting on mustaches. It's laughable.
Wait,
but,
I saw you in that. I saw
yes, you
you in
did.
that in college.
Yep.
That's right.
And so it is very operatic. It's very, as you said, it was Fitz.
Yeah, Fitz.
Fitz is right. Shakespeare, any kind of classic theater, even going back to Oedipus Rex or something,
Yeah.
the old Greek plays where, they just nobody will recognize each other if they're parting their hair slightly differently,
Yeah, for real. But I mean, same thing with Clark Kent and Superman, right? Just put on some
Right.
glasses.
Oh well, Clark Kent slouches.
Oh, he
Superman
slouches,
doesn't slouch.
Pokes his chest out. All right, let's keep going. We'll finally read this letter that the octopus left for us. I owe you guys one, so I'm going to jam up your opera, Ultros. Uh-oh, better tell the impresario. Off we go. I also just love the theatrical nature of Final Fantasy VI. Everything is
for
just so
sure.
well staged and the characters coming out.
Did you hear the difference in sound as we went from backstage even to here? It's
Oh, I did.
outstanding.
That's
I
good.
love
Like,
it.
it's kind of muted and then right here. Nice. And we can even walk up here and see them dancing up here, which is kind of cool.
I mean, they've been vamping the same 8 bars over and over and over again.
They have.
The audience is really being patient right now.
They are. They've been dancing for like 20 minutes. So, all right, let's get on with it. What? The Western forces attack. Impossible. Attack! Wait! Ah, it's him.
I knew you would come for me, my love.
Insolent rogue, knave of the Western Hall, you would address my queen to be Maria. Yes, sir, you have Maria's hand. I would die before that day comes. Then it's a duel.
So this kind of sung dialogue that's meant to imitate speech is called recitative.
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 But how is he planning to disrupt the opera? With that?
I like how they're just looking at it.
I know, right? Wahaha, let's see if Maria can shrug this off. Ugh, this thing is heavier than I thought. It's gonna take me 5 minutes to push this thing off. I love it. I love it. We haven't a second to lose. Talk to the stagehand in the right room up on the right. He'll help you get up there. Leave it to us. I love that they give me a sprint button instead of sprint.
Yes.
The impresario sent you. You need to get up to the catwalk. Lower the switch on the far right, but don't touch any of the others. I mean, this one, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Left-hand side should be open now. Yeah. I love they colored them in this one. They were not colored in the original.
Mm-hmm.
It was very easy to make a mistake, though it was red, so that felt really weird to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite the fight scene down there.
I'm thinking about the acoustics in this stone room. I bet it's outstanding.
Oh yeah. I'd love to be in a show where people were fighting rats on the rafters.
Yes.
Where you flip the other ones. Well, it will let you. Yeah, you kind of fight some extra bosses at that point.
Yeah, you really don't want to do that.
Take that, rats. I like to think that every show that I go to, everyone is fighting rats in the background.
Yeah, probably are. Actually.
Great attack from Saban. I love it. It's very useful here. Hector's learning a lot of magic right now.
One of the things I love about this game is that almost all the characters are very useful in their own way.
Yeah, everyone seems to be useful. So once you start using
Yes,
magicites, you can get them all kind of superpowered, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so the translation that I played originally called them Magirox. And that's about
Magirox.
the first name. Yeah.
We love that. Can I get
I have a lot of issues.
Alright, here we go. Oh, rats. Yeah, that's right, rats. Oh man. Dang. Oh no, this will never do. With those two flattened, there's no one to win the girl. How can the story possibly continue?
I like how
the-
he just came on stage.
I love that he just comes out on stage and he's like, oh no, everybody.
I've seen this in Peter Pan. You have to clap and say you believe in fairies.
The show must go on. Oh,
I mean, we don't know that some of these people aren't dead.
neither Draco nor Ross will win Celis's hand. It is I, Locke, the world's premier adventurer, who shall take her as my wife. Man, cowards, why didn't they give Locke a voice? Make him sing it.
I love the lack of self-determination we give this woman.
Oh dear, what dreadful acting. Oh yeah, she has... This is such a 90s game. Silence, knave. You stand in the presence of octopus royalty. A lowborn thief like you could never defeat me. I challenge you to a duel. Might as well make the most of this. Music! Wow. Long time no see. Did you miss me? Let's suplex him.
I really like the button prompts for.
Oh
his
yeah,
moves.
it's such a great reminder, right?
Yes.
Dang it, we missed him again. I guess we can't. Can aura cannon him. Oh, dang it. Here, over here.
You just like burrow into that wooden floor.
He sure did. Octopi can do all kinds of things. Like that. Octopodes. Something. This is a good arrangement. Him, buddy, pal. Oh, crap.
Yeah. Interesting.
I, for one, ain't no garden variety octopus.
Okay then.
Man, Saban's doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
I love the amount of the changes they've made to this song. This is great.
Yeah, I did not like this much before, but I like this.
Crap, it keeps turning me into an imp. I need that. I need to start healing myself. Problem. Dang. Don't die, Edgar. Crap!
Poor Edgar.
Poor Edgar indeed. Save him, kill him. Thwarted again! I feel like such a sucker. Oh, got him. Hold it right there. My compliments on a most impressive performance. He spun her out of her clothes. Setzer! I'm a man of my word, impresario. I'm taking Maria. What? Unforeseen twists at every turn. Just as we think Maria is to become Locke's new bride, she's dragged off by Setzer instead. What fate lies in store for her now? Be sure to come back and see part 2.
I'm intrigued by this idea of a part 2.
Man, me too. And that's just how they leave it that night. It's like, okay, everybody, go home. Don't worry, I'll give you plenty of attention later. Yikes, Setzer. Oh my god. Wink.
Just so we know she's not really in any danger.
What a performance. You've got a, you're a great fake actress, Celis. Wow. Enough. But the real show
Aren't all
starts
actresses
now.
fake?
It's time for Act 2. I guess you're right. Where's Setzer? He should be right back. What are you doing in here? You're not Maria, are you? Setzer, we need your help. We need to get to Vector. Your ship is the only... If you're not Maria, then we have nothing to talk about. Wait. We heard that your ship is the finest vessel in the world. And that you are the world's greatest gambler. It's the only one, yeah. I'm the King of Figaro. If you help us, you'll be well rewarded. Come with me. Then you'll... Don't misunderstand me. I still haven't said I'll help you. It also makes it the worst answer. Go on. You're right, G. You're right. Business has been awfully slow lately, thanks to the Empire. You're not the only one suffering. The Empire has been toppling towns and villages left and right. They're abusing their Magitech power and trying to take over the world. My kingdom was allied with the Empire until recently. Maybe you want to be a slave to the Empire, but I sure don't. We're at least together in hating the Empire, right? So please. You know, I think you might actually be even cuter than Maria. Huh? Alright, if Celis becomes my wife, I'll help you. Otherwise... What? Are you crazy? Fine. Great, it's settled. On one condition. Oh man, this is... We flip this coin. If it's heads, you help us. If it's tails, I'm yours. Well, Mr. Gambler? Ha, I like it. I accept. Celis, are you serious? If you marry that guy... Ready?
Do we know about the coin yet?
Nope. We can find out about it here. Hey, Clancy, what's up, buddy? Heads, I win. Now it's time for you to hold up your end of the bargain. A valuable trinket indeed. I've never seen a double-headed coin before. That coin. Edgar, don't tell me. I'm afraid you've been hustled, Mr. Gambler, but that's part of the game now, isn't it? A nice callback in Final Fantasy VII Remake as well. How low can you stoop? I love it. All right, I'll help you. Gambling against the Empire. With nothing to lose but my life, I haven't felt so excited in years. Yeah, so if you remember, that's the same coin that Edgar used to decide between him and Sabin as to what the future of the kingdom would be, whether Edgar or Sabin would be king. My life's a chip in your pile. Ante up.
And wasn't it that neither of them wanted to be the king?
Yeah.
So Edgar thought he was taking one for the team?
Yeah. I can't believe this clunky old thing can fly. You sure it'll stay in the air? When things fall, they fall. Life's a game of chance. You play the cards and fate plays hers. Isn't it, Fitz? They'll spot us in the air from miles away if we try to fly this thing into the Empire. We'd better land a safe distance away. That sounds like a good idea. I'll stay on board to keep the ship ready to take off at a moment's notice. This part always was so ominous when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
If we fall, we fall. There's Vector of the Empire. This is a good ominous foreshadowing for tomorrow's stream. Dang, look how big it is. It's way bigger in this one.
Wow.
That's awesome. Shut up, G. That's what she said. How dare you. Alright, folks. Oh my gosh, look at this madness. Let me, we'll go to the inn first thing tomorrow. Folks, that does it for the opera tonight. But before you go, as Ben and I said earlier, there is a live action version of this, or live version of this that's played at the Distant Worlds Symphony, and that is absolutely incredible. I want to find a YouTube of that really quick, and that's how we'll close the stream tonight, about watching that together. So, Ben, what closing thoughts about the opera and stuff? What are your thoughts? The whole sequence.
It's really cool. It's well done in the Pixel remaster. You know, it loses. It hasn't lost anything that makes it special, except the year that it came out, because there was nothing like this at the time on the Super Nintendo. So we could easily see stuff like this all the time now, but we don't. A few things to note about this version of the opera, or this opera scene in this game, is it's not entirely. It is very much caricature in a lot of ways. Traditionally, if you were to go to an actual opera, it would be much more akin to musical theater than this. Just usually with older music, although modern operas are still being composed. They tend to be very long, and there are different styles. This seemed very much to be in the style of a classical era opera, but with 19th century style music. I think it's really cool what Uematsu did with the different themes, with the way he worked in those vamps we talked about, where the music just has to keep playing because you have to allow time for player input. But I think, the opening with the triplets and the different chords, incredibly neat. I think he did an outstanding job with his thematic writing. What I will say is, traditionally you would expect in this style of music, if it were to last longer, then some of these themes would be developed a little bit more. A lot of the themes that we hear are very much presented as is, and then we move on, or presented as is and then sung again as is. But that's sort of a necessity of the medium, because if you were to compose a 3-hour opera for this game, that would really get old really quick. Especially, having to allow for different things. I think that sequence is a lot of fun, from the melodrama to the sort of slapstick nonsense at the end. It's just, it's outstanding. I love the whole sequence, and it's just really cool. It's such an achievement in video games, which interestingly enough would be outdone later in this very game. There are a couple of sequences later in this game that are musically far more impressive than this. I'm thinking specifically of Dancing Mad, the theme
when we get
for the
to
final boss.
Yeah. If you thought that this musical sequence was cool, I mean, just wait till the final boss, because that's one of the best songs in all of Final Fantasy, I would say, in all of video games.
I would agree with that.
Hot take, I don't know if it's that hot. I like it more than the One-Winged Angel Sephiroth.
Oh, it's not even close. The Sephiroth theme's neat, and
cool.
It gets a lot of credit for having the choir and the voices, because hey, we got CD-ROMs. It's also, what people forget is that Final Fantasy music was Final Fantasy VII's music was incredibly lo-fi. The PlayStation did not have, before people discovered Red Book audio, the MIDI sounds were not that impressive. The SNES could do a lot better, still on Sony hardware, but it's immediately outdone again by the Balances Restored music. You got like 25 minutes of a closing cutscene in this game.
It's so good.
And it's some of the best music in Final Fantasy, and you get to hear some of those thematic developments.
You really do.
And in my mind, it doesn't get any better than that until maybe some of the stuff in Final Fantasy 15, and that's probably a hot take. But
that is a hot take. I've fought with people on Twitter about that one.
So Yoko Shimomura is brilliant, and
she
deserves all the credit.
The character themes in Final Fantasy. Say that again. Sorry.
Even beyond her Final Fantasy music, I think she was one of the composers behind Street Fighter. Well, not one. She was the composer of Street Fighter 2, which has some of the best music in all video games.
And let's not forget Kingdom Hearts. She did Kingdom Hearts as well. So
listen,
a bright spot in Kingdom Hearts. I know.
This is my chance to say it. Kingdom Hearts is terrible, and the only people who like Kingdom Hearts should be put on watch lists, because they are
like
deep.
you, man. People really like you.
No. Well, it's time for me to listen. I teach middle school, and I had a kid bring me sheet music from Kingdom Hearts today, and I played it for him, and it's like,
no.
Thank you, Dr. Cook. This is awesome. Will you? And do you like Kingdom Hearts? And I said, no. And listen, you need to understand. You shouldn't either. This is the time.
You shouldn't either.
Some teachers try to tell their kids not to do drugs. I'll tell them not to play Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my gosh.
Don't do drugs either, but especially not Kingdom Hearts.
If given the choice between drugs and Kingdom Hearts.
Listen, I think you'll have a much more satisfying life with drugs than with Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I played the first one and about half of the second one, and it's a terror. They are terrible games.
I played the 3 mainline ones, so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Anyway, Yoko Shimomura.
Anyway, she's great.
Code Veronica.
Yeah. Well,
not Code Veronica. What is it? Parasite.
Oh yeah, Parasite. Pretty close. Okay, so as we end tonight, I did want to show the Final Fantasy 7. Whoa, things are happening. What happened? Okay, there we go. Sorry. Wanted to close out with this scene from the Distant Worlds concert. And we'll kind of go do commentary throughout it. But this is absolutely incredible. If you've never gotten the chance to see Distant Worlds, highly, highly recommend. But this is the live version of the opera, which you just saw in Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. Here we go. And I think that I can share this with you as well. Hang on one second, Ben, because I can get that over to you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not able to see that right now, are you?
No.
Okay, now you should. Can you?
No.
No. Back out and come back in because I had to relaunch the Discord, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me.
Okay.
Okay. So now I need to join video call.
Yep. And I should be sharing it. Am I?
Oh, I see it.
Ah, perfect. Okay, folks, we're going to watch this together and give us your thoughts as we hear it. I think this is the English version. Oh gosh, I've given the wrong. Oh, my bad. There we go. Yeah, you can still like it. It sounds a lot more like the Pixel Remaster now.
East and the west grows more violent by the day.
Their reading's better than mine.
Rocco, a soldier from the west, thinks of his love Maria back at home.
I gotta give credit to Koopa Doom on YouTube for the YouTube video as well. So go toss him a like. It's a good full voice.
Yeah. This little baritone sound.
Oh, you can see the gameplay on the screen up there. It's the same as our little conductor at the bottom of our Twitch stream. The overlay.
Very good orchestration.
That may be a little loud. Let me turn it down a little. That's really cool.
I like what they're able to do through this section with layering instruments through there.
Yeah.
Really good. Makes it a lot more interesting.
If y'all remember, this was the part where Locke is kind of walking around talking to the characters and going backstage to talk to Celis.
So this sort of employs a lot of what we would call melodic minor mode,
Mm-hmm.
where we shift back and forth between raised and lowered 6th and 7th scale degrees in minor key to create more of that melodic theme, but we also get some of that 5/7 of 3 stuff in here as we go to the middle portion, to the F sharp major chord, and then it repeats. So it's what we call binary form.
I think it's cool that they kept that like gameplay interlude
The Western armies are
in
defeated,
this.
and Maria's castle falls into the hands of the East. Forced to wed the Eastern Prince Ras, Maria still thinks only of Draco as she gazes at the stars.
Here's Celis's moment.
So her voice type is what you would call mezzo soprano. Tends to be on the lower side of things. Interesting, considering how they had that young, bright sound in the Pixel remaster.
Yeah. Well, this is meant to be the full opera, normal, not the one that's been hijacked by Setzer and Celis and Locke.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So we'll actually get the ending, the resolution, with this live
Yeah.
version rather than the interruption.
Yeah, I've got the score that I have here does not have the Ultros part in it. So they use a sort of B major minor ninth chord there on the turn, and it creates a good sense of unease.
Oh, this is really nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if I know they're doing a 35th anniversary concert. I wonder if they'll use the Pixel Remaster video on the screen for that.
Maybe. This is a really pretty, simple, but very effective waltz. And in the game, if it had been less simple, it would have distracted, because this is when you're supposed to be going and doing story significant stuff. So all this plot significant stuff was happening. And waltzes are fairly simple dances. But this reminds me a lot of Tchaikovsky's Sleeping Beauty waltz, which used in the Disney Sleeping Beauty as well.
A handful of survivors from the Western armies gather to lay siege to
And
Castle
hear what the
Garden.
music's doing right now. This is romantic stuff.
Ooh. The choir like screaming in the background.
Vanguard leading the ill-fated charge is a lone hero, and though battered and scarred, he fights with the spirit of 1,000, felling one Eastern soldier after another.
This is good.
Yes, Draco has returned.
My lights are going nuts behind me.
Name of the Western Hall, you would address my queen to be Maria. Never should you have Maria's hand, I would die before that day comes. Then we chose.
Oh man, I love it. Oh, and did you see the rats and the rafters up there? Y'all, the Distant Worlds concert is out of this world. It's so fun.
There is.
Listen to that.
I don't have this one. This is great Ultros battle music. Very different from the Pixel.
It's a little different, for sure.
But
Ooh, it's some singing.
I'm imagining that's Ultros.
my God. This is crazy epic.
The snare drum is one of the giveaways that this is not.
Makes me want to go fight some rats.
Yeah.
I wish I had the words.
You know what it reminds me of? It's the festival of Final Fantasy.
Ben, I'm having a hard time hearing you over the massive. No, you're fine.
It reminds me of the festival of Final Fantasy.
Oh, in Final Fantasy IX, the festival of the hunt. Yeah, it does have that tone to it. Oh man.
So something I'm noticing about the real instruments, and even in the Pixel remaster, they make better use of the percussion than in the SNES original, because in the original, you know, he would have had to have had about 7 tapping drums set up for that, which is, yeah, 5 would be reasonable for a large orchestra, 7 might be a bit much. And he essentially used orchestral cymbals as if they were ride cymbals in the SNES sound chip, and it worked. But
Yeah.
In an actual orchestra, if you've got somebody with cymbals going, you know, like that, it doesn't quite work.
Right.
So having these instrumentations really improved makes a big difference.
This is the ending of the opera that you don't get because of Ultros. Right here.
Yeah, I've got this score.
I love this part right here. God,
Yeah.
chills.
It's really good.
Chills.
It's neat what they do there. They allow the bass to move
Yeah.
and use what would normally be a pedal tone in the upper voices, and it's really neat with the crashing B minor chord. Very interesting inversion of expectations, but it works really, really
Gosh,
well.
it does. Hmm. Hey, chat, what do y'all think of the whole opera so far? We're almost done with it, but love to hear your thoughts here at the end.
Hit that B major ninth chord here.
Listen to this.
Some harmonic.
What a finish. That was absolutely phenomenal. Oh my gosh. folks.
Interesting to note, it ends on what is called a plagal cadence, which is usually used in sacred music as an amen. So that there's really nothing deeper than that. But typically, you'd see what's called an authentic cadence at the end, where you get a big or sorry, I forgot what goes in. But they give you a at the end, and it's I think it absolutely works here. I'm not I can be critical of stuff, but I think that this is really well written. Probably did a lot to legitimize video game music, but it just such a fantastic work from a 16-bit video game.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Like I said, I mean, this gave me such an appreciation for video game music. I mean, to me, I'd always liked video game music, but it was kind of like the little earworms that you'd get in your head, like dun 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 dun, dun Mario, right? But with this, it was like, oh, this can be something more than that. I think this was the first time that I ever thought of video games as being a form of art, which I know there's been a discussion of that, but this was like deeply moving for me, and it still is. And to certainly see it fully realized with a symphony and orchestra, just incredible. Ben, closing thoughts before we head out for the night.
First, I really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely.
I think Final Fantasy's got some of the best music in all of video games. There are a few series that I think do it better than anybody else. Final Fantasy is one of them. For others, I see the Castlevania series, as well as the works of Koji Kondo over on his Nintendo games. But I think that this is such a formative song for video game music, and it probably opened up a lot of eyes to show what game music could be. I love going back and looking at old game music through the lens of what did they do with the limitations they had.
For sure.
And it's hard when listening to this stuff to remember that there were limitations. There were significant limitations, and the way that that Uematsu did, and I think Uematsu, if I'm not mistaken, was also the sound designer in general, or at least that's how he began.
Yeah.
The way he had this worked out to really go with the gameplay, to create this gestalt of Final Fantasy it cannot be overstated. These games are special in a lot of ways. I can say I would have next to no interest in them if it weren't for the music.
Hey, if that's what sold you on it, so that we could talk about them, then I'll take it. It's phenomenal.
This has got to be one of my favorite games in the series, and the music is in no small part to that. I think that along with 4 and
4 has great
9, and later on 15, some of the best music in the series. I've been very vocal about my love for 5, which I know you do not share.
There are great things about 5. There really are, but there's a grind
say music's
to it.
not one of them.
Really? Okay.
As much as I enjoy the gameplay, there's only so much of the same Irish jig you can hear for every town.
It's a good Irish jig, though.
It is.
Good one.
You sure do hear a lot of it.
You really do.
And Good Friends, or whatever it's called.
Dear Friends.
Dear Friends.
I like that one.
It's a much better song than the rest of it, but I think 5's music is largely forgettable compared to what came immediately before and what came immediately after.
But the same could be said for the story, right? The story of 4 and 6 are both better than the pretty, vanilla. I mean, vanilla's not bad. It's a flavor for a reason, but it is kind of the bare bones sort of thing. No toppings, no sprinkles, just vanilla.
Everything about Final Fantasy VI is cranked up to the next level. Again, I haven't seen much of Pixel Remaster besides what we watched tonight, but I'm thinking back to the first time that Tara uses magic in front of Edgar and Locke, and their jaws drop, their eyes bug out, and they fly off the screen.
They do. It's a drama.
It's exaggerated,
throughout.
but you get these little moments that are both dramatic, the moments that are funny, and it's so much more than before, where previously we've had Young's wife hit him with a frying pan or whatever to wake him up.
Great.
That's fine, but it's just somebody going like that. It's the comedic and dramatic moments in this are well beyond what we have seen before. There's not much that can prepare you, if you're not ready for it, for what happens in the Esper village when you think you've saved the day. There's not much.
No spoilers for the chat.
I'm not spoiling.
Things are going down soon.
When you get to the obvious end of the game in the Esper village,
fair,
and save the day, but and it sets the tone from the very beginning, from the lightning crash at the menu screen. I assume that's still in the Pixel Remaster.
It is.
From the Magitech armors walking through the snowfield, going into Narsh, to just the incredible battle music, victory themes. Everything about this game is dialed up to 11. It's operatic in a way that previous Final Fantasies, except maybe 4, you could make a case for 4, hadn't been. And on top of that, it's got gameplay systems that make it fun to play and replay. The Espers are a different what are they called? Magicites are a different version of the job system, which would be reimagined as Materia
in 7,
Fantasy 7. You can create your own characters that sort of have different strengths and weaknesses. And the way the game works, it's like the opposite of Final Fantasy 15, where in this game it starts out very linear and then opens up in a big way toward the end. And you are left with this massive open world to explore, to take tasks in the time that you see fit. You can make a beeline for the tower, or you can go and look for, you can go recruit, we'll say. The gameplay, the music, the soundtrack to this is like 3 discs long. For a tiny little cartridge.
I love that you brought out the Japanese cartridge for this stream. I love it. I absolutely love it. So good.
I played it on a Retron with a fan translation. I really don't recommend that. The American translation by Ted Woolsey is much better. The English translation, I guess. It's what you lose in that translation tends to be characters, because Japanese is a much more efficient language in terms of the character usage, because they use katakana or hiragana and kanji to communicate things in very few characters. But, the samurai in this game is named Cyan. Well, he was named Cayenne, like the pepper in the Japanese.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ben, we could literally talk about this game all night long.
We could.
So let me cut us off. But
yes.
Let me thank you so much for being on tonight.
Well, thank you for having me.
Like, you have brought a depth to the conversation that I would not have been able to get to. So thank you so much. We're gonna have to do this again, because this was a blast.
Absolutely.
Deep dive into the music and all that kind of stuff, and just the game, because you're knowledgeable about far more than just the music. So we'll do it.
I deep dive into things that I enjoy. You've played this game many more times than I have, and from a much earlier age, but I dove into it head first.
Yeah, this game helped me grow up a lot. I mean, it was profound. So anyway, thank you again for being on tonight, everybody. You can find Ben on Twitter. I don't know if you want to give that out, but you can find him. Your Twitter. Good.
I am at Captain Oppositional, CPT OPPOSITIONAL. I don't tweet much, but you can see my daily Wordle score.
Oh, perfect. Go check him out for the Wordles, and tell him how much you appreciated this for sure. Everybody, thank you for being in tonight. Thank you for the follows. Thank you, Melpnos, for the follow. Nice to meet you tonight, Senorita. Thank you for the sub. And thank you, everybody, for hopping in and enjoying this thing that I absolutely love. Hope that you enjoyed it from your couch or your phone or wherever you were watching. If you want to help out the stream and you want to see more things like this, here's something that you can actually do. There's going to be a video on demand of VOD that goes up almost immediately after I turn this off. If you go to my Twitch channel and you can copy that and share it on social media, tell people you liked it. If you liked it, if you didn't, just don't. But but if you liked it, share it, and we'll try to do more things like this. We will be picking up with Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster tomorrow night, starting at 7 p.m. Look forward to being with you. We're going to be picking up right where we left off as the party makes their way into the Empire. Ben, can't thank you enough. This was a blast. We will do it again. And everybody, hope that you have a fantastic night. Go to sleep. Or spend your day, if you're on the other side of the world, Quincy, looking at you, spend your day humming these songs. I know that I will sleep and dream well with them in my mind tonight. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. See you, Ben, and thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, bye, everybody. See ya.
Bye.